Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Chris Burns here with Academy Mortgage, and I'm sitting with.
Steve McCarthy, eXp Realty.
Thanks for joining us, and we are here to talk about all things lending and real estate. So, a little quick background. My name is Chris Burns, and I've been in the mortgage industry as a lender for right about 18 years now. And it's been a lot of ups and downs in this industry, but it's been very lucrative, and I've built a ton of relationships, and that's kind of what I continue to focus on doing. So for me, it's the relationship aspect of things that keeps me in this business. I love it. I love seeing people get into their new homes, first-time home buyers. I love past clients coming back over and over again for their mortgage needs. It's just been it's been a good 18-year run.
Awesome. And I'm in real estate 10 years now on the sales side, coaching side of it. Most likely to fail at everything. Ran a 19-year mailman job, fighting dogs, struggling through life to living what is a pretty amazing life now, especially for somebody like myself.
Yeah,
So.
I think you and I have the very similar backgrounds as far as how we grew up.
Thugs.
Yeah, exactly. Grew up in completely different neighborhoods.
Yep.
Actually, two different. I grew up in Southern California. You grew up here in Northern California. So
That's right.
But both grew up very similar with a lot of the same challenges in life, and so it's nice that we both kind of have that same backstory, and we're both kind of moving forward in our careers and have been where we are today. So it's and I think that's why we connect well, and it's just it's interesting, and so it's where we got our title for our radio, Rebel Wealth Radio. So we were both very rebellious
Yes.
kids and teenagers, and got in a lot of trouble, spent a lot of time in trouble, and out of that we had two roads, right? We could continue on that path down the road of destruction and chaos and end up like a lot of probably our friends did. Or we can choose to seize an opportunity that took us to a path of where we are today, right?
But I think our paths are so similar, and I never really connected that till just now when you said. I'm glad you noticed it. But we took a lot of the same roads to get where we are.
We did.
Yeah. And it could have easily, for myself for sure, turned out to be a different route. Sounds like same for you.
Absolutely.
But that's what makes us able to share some secrets and some tips to help people get where they're trying to go.
100%. And I think honestly that that's what gives us the heart and the desire to see other people succeed, right? Because
100%.
When you come from more humble beginnings and you come from more struggles, you kind of you have more empathy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you also see things in a different light, and you see that, hey, we can make a difference in someone else's life. Somebody at some point gave you a chance and you took it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably weren't sitting back going, oh, real estate sounds good. There was somebody that was in your ear talking to you about it. And same with me in the lending side. There was somebody in my ear talking about it. And I could have done one of two things. Like, I had a good job at the time. I was doing just fine. And they gave me an opportunity in mortgage that I knew nothing about. I could have been like, oh God, I don't know anything about that. Like, I don't think I can do that. But instead I was like, nope, I'm going to take this interview and I'm going to kill it. And that was the start of, an 18-year career that has, manifested into what it is today. And I'm not even close to done, dude. I'm continuing to build and grow. And by growing, I don't necessarily just mean, my portfolio, my net worth, but it's growing others, growing people, helping people learn how to take the opportunities that are put in front of them and don't use the I can't or it just won't work for me mentality, and grab a hold of an opportunity that could take you to places that you would never even imagine.
You grabbed yours, I grabbed mine. You weren't looking for a mortgage. You weren't looking for a better job. I had no ambition. I was not interested in more money. I had done well for my neighborhood. I was making $60,000 a year. Yeah. So definitely wasn't interested, but somebody seen something in you. And somebody seen something to me that we didn't even see ourselves.
And that's absolutely what happened. Like, a guy came into where I worked and was like, hey, you really should come work for me. Like, I come in here every day, every day. He did come in every day. And I come here for one item, and you got me leaving with 15 other things and at the time, it was a very sales focused mentality. Like, you know, hey, you're going to come work in mortgage, and this is a sales job, right? So you're going to be a salesman. I later, after, 7-8 years doing it, and the crash happened, when I got into the retail world, it became more about being an advisor, right? A mortgage professional, and being able to advise people. So, yeah, it's been good. So
we run the title expert advisors. That's how we see ourselves too. And I bet we're going to uncover together in this show that that approach to sales is different than, your typical salesperson.
It's like we talked about, we're not looking for the transaction. We're looking for the long-term relationship, right? So
I learned that from a selfish point. I was looking at what's the lifetime value of a client.
Yeah.
And it turned into, who am I bringing into my life? I'm actually building long-term relationships like Zig Ziglar says, if you help enough people get what they want, you get everything you want.
Absolutely.
It just pays off that way.
100%. You get out of life what you put into life. Yeah. That's 100% the reality. So, and it's amazing as we get older in life that where our focus is and what changes and what's important, what becomes important and what isn't. So
don't leave yet. I know we're supposed to be doing a show here, but I want to.
We're just rapping.
I want to ask you. You had somebody. I had somebody pour into my life. Have you been able to bless somebody like that? Bring them into mortgage?
Absolutely. I won't ever take any credit away from the work that they do on their own to create the business that they've created. But I've personally brought in 5 loan officers out of completely different industries and given them an opportunity. And each and every one of them are extremely successful. So they did what I did. They seized the opportunity that was given to them. It took them from a position of, out of all of them that I brought in, not one of them was earning 6 figures. Mm-hmm. Now every single one of them are well into the 6 figures.
Isn't that sick, man? You're you're literally changing people's lives like somebody changed yours.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not taking credit for the work that they did as far as getting their name out there and building it, but I absolutely saw something in them. And what's crazy is it took a couple years to get one of them to actually make the move, right? Because they're comfortable, they got their job, they know what their income is. It's hey, I'm gonna get this check every 2 weeks, and like, I don't know about this commission only thing. I don't know. That's scary, right?
I've done it too. And I'm gonna call you out, Ed. If you're watching, my brother-in-law Ed, it must have taken us 3 years to get this man there.
Yeah.
Totally talented.
Yep.
I know he's going to crush it in real estate, yet he kept, working at the post office day in, day out.
Yep.
He told me that he would never quit that place.
Yep.
He lasted 8 months.
That's awesome. And I know you have a couple other people that work with you that are still at the post office, like hanging on just a little bit.
But for people, and if you're doing this, man, think about this. Be open to it. If you're hanging on for that security, what is that security? Paycheck? Yes. Right?
Right, absolutely. You got to feed your family. You got to take care of the bills.
You're going to have benefits.
Yep.
And you're guaranteed to get the life that you have right now. If you're happy with that, I'm happy for you. But if you're not happy with the life that you have, if you don't change something today, you're going to repeat that life for the rest of your life and always wonder what was possible for you. So if you're dreaming, there's time at the end of the day. Stop watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Put the work in after hours. After you get off work, you're tired. Everybody's tired after they get off work. But I promise you, your energy, your passion, enthusiasm will go up if you're doing things that you love.
Yep, 100%. That's absolutely true. Like you stay committed to what you love to do, and you see amazing things happen. So
I do not love mortgage.
No.
I don't want nothing to do with numbers and whatever guidelines you're arguing all day long.
Yeah, it's funny because we just were having our meetings earlier with our loan officers and just kind of engaging with them and talking about how can we help you grow, right? Mm-hmm. So they're very new, very green. How can I help you grow? What can we do? And we talk about different lanes and how we run the office. And I thrive on structuring mortgage loans. Like that's where I get the most joy it's what I do best. Like I always used to say this, I'm like, I don't do many things well at all, but what I do well is mortgage. I spent a lot of time perfecting, my craft, my professional job, business, career, and in that I take it very seriously. And so I look for ways to get things done where it's very outside the box in a lot of cases, and but always within guidelines. And it's fun for me, right?
That
It's
is
fun.
not fun for
I
me.
know.
So we have similar paths coming together and getting to wealth, but man, when it comes to, like what we love and what we like in business, we're complete opposites. Like you got structure, system, process, which you're supposed to have.
Correct.
That's your lane. I like to make a mess. Just an idea happens. I want to, just go figure it out. Do it messy. Do it wrong.
So I'll say this. I'm a very driven person. Are you familiar with the DISC profile?
Oh yeah.
So I'm very, very high on the D. I'm not a systems person at all. And I don't have a lot of creativity outside of I know how to be creative in a loan scenario, right? So I am very much like you. Like, I'm not messy, but I'm very like just straight through the wall. Like I'm not trying to find ways. Like I'm just like, this is the problem. This is the solution. Let's
That's
get it
a
done.
key takeaway right there. Straight to the wall. Like people get an obstacle in their life, in family, business, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they get an obstacle and they immediately look for retreat.
Yep. It's like you have to be vigilant in attacking obstacles. And because here's the thing, in life and in business, it's just nothing but obstacles. I mean, look at right now. I mean, there's just obstacles left and right. You have to make a decision and a choice real early on in your career that you're not going to let things detour you, right? No. So
I actually say seek them. It's the obstacle itself, whatever you have to push through that you don't want to.
Yeah.
If you like, you work out. Like if you're working out, you got to destroy the muscle before it can rebuild.
That's right. You got to go through the pain.
You got to go through the pain.
Yeah.
So if the obstacle's in your way and you run from it, you are never going to grow because the growth happens in, figuring it out, falling, failure. Failure's great. I'm the biggest failure probably in this room right now, but I'm not afraid of that failure because I know that there's growth at the end of it, and that's what takes you up to the next level.
Yeah, I think that's honestly, the key to that is exactly what you just said. Stop being afraid to fail. Like the biggest moguls in business in this world fail.
Trump.
And they fail. Yeah. And they fail over and over and over again. But what they don't do is they don't quit. They continue to push forward. So if we're saying anything out there to anyone who's listening, like, hey man, I want to get off this little like hump I'm on where I want something more. I want something better. I want to meet, for me, it's a relationship thing. So I want to know more people. I want to be more involved in people's lives, and I want the relationships that I have to be so solid that they withstand anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's when you have relationships, for me, nothing's transactional. Like I want that relationship in that buyer and in that real estate agent and in anyone that comes in contact with me in a business transaction. I want that to turn into a relationship that it could be 3-4 years down the road. And guess what? When they're ready to do a mortgage again, or even if they have a mortgage question, they're going to give me a call and say, hey, Chris, I'm thinking about this. What's your advice? And I'm not looking for a return loan. I'm looking for a relationship to be where I'm the one that they could be using another lender, but they're calling me, asking me questions,
That happens.
It happens all the time. And the reality is, when you get to that point where you've, I guess, I don't know if the word is made it, because I'm always trying to grow and get better and do more. Yeah. But when you get to the point where you're able to have that return, to me, that's a return on my investment in them, right? Is that they trust me enough that if they're doing a mortgage transaction somewhere else 4 years down the road, but they have a a question or an issue that they trusted me to call
Yep.
and ask a question to, and I get enough value out of that makes it all worthwhile.
You're just like me, so I know you literally don't care where some people would be offended. We get the call too that I use, my aunt just got her license, right? But now I'm in this situation. What do I do?
Exactly.
But I'm cool. I'm okay to help because, like you said, it's about the relationship, and it sharpens my axe too to continually be problem solving for people. When you said I made it, I don't know if I ever made it. The way I think of that is when I made it about other people.
Yeah.
So you get to a point in your business when it's about, how do I feed the family? How do I buy the nice cars? How to buy the nice house? And then you made it when you made it about other people.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that always translates into your business, right? So when people know that you're genuinely there for them in their best interest, they feel that, right? They feel whether or not they're a transaction to you or whether or not you actually care and you want to take the time to grow them, educate them, and put them in literally the best position for them, their family, long term, right?
100%. Now, and this is Radio Wealth, Rebel Radio.
Rebel Wealth Radio.
This tongue twister is what it is.
We definitely hit
But
that.
so the people watching this aren't necessarily the ones that are struggling or looking not to push through obstacles, right? The assumption is if you're listening to a wealth podcast that you're like-minded like
You're
us.
like-minded.
But since we both want to help people, and I already made a mess of this episode, it's supposed to be about something totally different. God bless Andy for having to make adjustments. But so why don't we really help people?
Sounds good.
So we have a path and stuff. And if it's okay, I'm just going to be brutally honest.
You do whatever.
Okay. So people are struggling right now because they're worried about what people think about them, and they're making financial decisions that are just completely irresponsible and counterproductive to where they're trying to go in their life. And then they're wondering why stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Right? They're wondering why I'm working overtime. Why am I one break job away from losing my house?
Yeah.
Why can't I pay my whole PG&E bill? So and I've lived through this. I'm okay to talk about it. I bought the nicest house of my coworkers at a job.
Yep.
I had the nice cars and all that kind of stuff. And what I didn't have was peace. At night, I'm wondering about how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to feed the family? Just totally struggling, miserable. Please let there be overtime.
Yeah.
Right? There's a better way.
There's a much better way. And listen, I'll be the first to say I'm not saying that mortgage and or real estate is the only path.
No.
Okay, there's what I'm saying is if you're in a situation that Steve's talking about, there is another way. You are not stuck. There is another way. There are many coaches and advisors out there that if you grabbed a hold of them, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is just gimmick. They get paid to get up and stuff. And that's fine. They do. But guess what? They did exactly what they're telling you to do.
You're just not doing the work.
You're just not doing it. And so, listen, there are many ways, and what I'll tell you is this. There are many ways to create and grow wealth.
Yeah.
And none of them are quick and easy. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. You are going to put work in. You are going to experience obstacles, objections, rejections, and you're going to have to figure out how to overcome them. And the more you do it, the better you get, and the more successful you are.
Not quick and rich, right? It's not going to happen. But I think people.
I mean, you can play the lottery. That's about where your chances
That's
are.
a great plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that. The people overestimate what they can get done in 1 year and underestimate what they can get done in 5 and 10. But if you just step back right now, and if you can't afford the house that you're living in, freaking sell it.
Absolutely.
You're not a tree, man.
And what's funny about that is I told my brother. So 3 years ago, he bought a house. I helped him get into it, and my brother, he's one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet in your life. The guy is a workhorse, right? And he makes, by his standards and by the world's, by the country's standards, I guess we say, or the world standards, it's fine, good money. He's a pretty high up tech in AT&T, and he he puts in them hours and he makes
Sure.
good money. And so this year I told him, hey, dude, you need to sell your house. Like, first off, it's not your forever home. You don't want the house.
Yep.
You don't like a lot of things about it, and it's constantly giving you problems. You don't have a savings built up enough to handle the broken HVAC system, the this, that, and the other thing, and you're having to get into debt to do these repairs to your house, right? And so sell it. This is the market's hot. It's good. You'll get top dollar for it. It took me like 6 months of working on him, and he finally just sold it a month and a half ago.
Well, good for him, because most people are going to focus on, well, what will people think? What are people going to say if I sell the nice house and, step back?
Well, the thing with him, and here's the thing, so he didn't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's no rentals out there, right? So he's literally living with our sister,
Yeah.
right? On a bed on her loft. But guess what? He's got all his debt paid off now, and he walked away with well over 6 figures, and he is going to do the right things. He's going to invest some of the money, and he's going to be able to build his savings at a much more rapid pace.
Yep.
And he's not worried about, I have to have my own house. He bought a travel trailer so he can stay in that if he needs. Like he's literally revamped his.
I love it.
And then he's going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
And yeah, he may never leave AT&T, but he's going to make some smart decisions and and listen to what I've told him. And so it's nice when you see people do that.
Yep.
Every single person that I've given an opportunity into the mortgage industry, every one of them, there's not one that I've brought in that in their first year in mortgage, they didn't exceed the income at their highest year at their previous job. Not one.
That's perfect. And that's how it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah,
But that
absolutely.
means you brought on coachable people.
Every one of them, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyhow, that's kind of like where your and I's focus is, and why we've done this and created this, is that we want to give back, and we want to help other people figure out how to grab a hold of some opportunities that are there that they may not see,
Yep.
right? Because they're so tunnel vision, right? It's like, okay, it's 7:30, wake up, head to my job. It's 4, come home. You know what I'm saying?
It's a vicious
It's a very
cycle.
vicious cycle, and it's
Yep.
a very
But yeah, people don't know what's possible.
don't.
I'd never been around the success that we have, the people that we know in our
Yeah.
circles right now, right? So like for me, a success was saving 10% in a good account after you do your best to get through college, to get a good job.
Yep.
And nobody that I was watching retire that way was like, oh, thank goodness I did it this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know we've talked about this. We'll talk a little bit about, later on bringing some guest speakers in, some financial advisors, and some of the people that you and I lock arms with on a daily basis that are extremely wealthy and have built their wealth in many different ways. And we're kind of grabbing a hold of that and learning from all of that. So we'll talk a lot about, some other streams of not just real estate and mortgage, but some other ways to generate wealth and
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. There's this new one I just saw the other day. I might have got a text message on it, like, invest in this. Like, I don't know. I'll always do my research first, but I'll throw 40 grand in something that's going to be worth, $250,000 in a few years. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Have you heard of NFTs? Some kind of like digital
I have not.
art. Well, I don't even know what it is.
Well, maybe you and I should look into it.
Somebody watching, you have to call me and fill me in on what this is. But so I guess there's some kind of like digital art or
Really?
I have no idea what it is, but people
Are we
throw
getting
money
in on the? Is this something we're getting in on the ground floor?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I want to learn more about it and not, be an expert on it, but enough to feel a little comfortable throwing some money in it.
So even you and I, we make what really good money for what in the industries we're in, right? We're always looking to get better. We're always looking at other opportunities. Like, I know that some of the wealthiest people I know personally that I lock arms with on a daily basis, they have multiple streams of revenue.
Of course.
They started one place and they took that and they created several other revenue streams, right?
Yep.
And so it's like what we're saying is like you can go to your post office 9-to-5 job every day.
Great job.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to look at, okay, even if you want to stay there, that's fine. Stay there. Say you're making
If you're happy,
stay there. Say
Yeah.
you're making $70,000 a year. Well,
That's good.
That's good. And look at other ways to take that that money, and don't carry a lot of debt. Like I said,
Thank you.
like where you can take that money, that excess money every month, and throw it into whatever investments. Like I said, it's get with somebody that's knowledgeable, that's done it. You want it. Whoever you're talking to needs to have a proven track record, right? So
not
you
your cousin.
Yeah, yeah. Don't go buying whatever it is your cousin's selling, because it's not going nowhere.
That's the key, man. Is who has been where you are and got to where you want to be.
That's right.
That's the person that I want to learn from.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's the person that'll teach you too.
100%. And you'll realize, I think the thing that people don't realize, and we realize this because we deal with it on now, is that they think that these people are like unattainable and unapproachable. They're not. These people that are mega millionaires. Now, I'm not saying you're walking up to Donald Trump, like calling his cell phone and being like, hey, Donald, like, can we meet today? No, you're not doing that. But there are many, many, many extremely wealthy businessmen out there who have a path that they can teach, and they're willing to. That's the thing. It's like where we are. Like, I'm not in their class, not even close.
Yep.
I will be one day, but I'm not even close. But guess what? I'm here offering other people an opportunity to make a change in their life on the experiences and the path that I've taken.
Yep.
And that gets them started somewhere.
100%. If success is measured on a scale, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're a 4, you'll always have access to a 5.
Always.
Yep. And a 5 always to a 6.
That's right.
Right. So you reach out to the people that you think won't help you and find out that
they
will
will
help you. 100%.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
So
I'm ready to rap, man.
yeah, we're gonna wrap this segment up.
I'm ready to rap.
Oh,
Like Eminem.
Okay, well I can't rap as quick as
Then
Eminem.
let's just rap.
I mean, like maybe some E40. He's kind of slow.
E40 is a local.
Yeah, as a Bay Area guy.
Yeah. Let's have him on the show.
Yeah. You have his number. You want to call him?
I don't, but Chaito, maybe can you help a brother?
Let's
out?
do it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
We'll have E40 on at one point.
Yeah, but hey, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
man.
guys, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We love the support, and we are going to see you next week.
Next week,
Same time, same channel.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
Be
Have
great.
a great one.